Welcome to This Explainer. Let's just dive right in. Have you ever wondered if numbers actually hold the hidden meanings of our lives? We deal with them literally every single day, right? From the time on our alarms to the balance in our bank accounts. But today, we're going to look at them through a totally different, incredibly ancient lens. We're unpacking this mind-bending idea that numbers are way more than just tools for counting, that they might actually be the fundamental building blocks of our reality, our personalities, and even our destinies.
So, did you ever stop to think that your name might be a wireless portrait? It's a pretty wild concept, I know, but it immediately hooks you. According to the texts we're digging into today, your name isn't just some random collection of letters you got stuck with at birth. It acts as a trademark. It literally broadcasts your talents, your disposition, and your hidden urges out to the universe and to everyone you meet. It's like you're sending out a signal before you even say a single word.
Now, to figure out how all this actually works, we're pulling our insights straight from this amazing anthology, the Book of Numerology, the Essential Texts. What's really cool about this compilation is that it brings together foundational, early 20th century writings on the art and science of numbers. These are the pioneering thinkers who took ancient esoteric traditions and translated them into practical frameworks for the modern world. So this is our primary source material today. And let me tell you, it is packed with some truly fascinating perspectives.
So, what exactly is numerology? Well, it's the ancient study of the mystical significance of numbers. And we're not talking about some New Age fad here. The texts trace these concepts all the way back to ancient civilizations like Babylon and Egypt. The core premise, and you really need to grasp this to understand the source material, is that numbers weren't just seen as math symbols. They were viewed as spiritual entities. The belief is that the structure of the entire universe is reflected in numbers. So basically, understanding numbers means understanding the very fabric of human life.
And that brings us to this massive, cosmic idea captured perfectly by the ancient Greek philosopher Pythagoras. He famously said, "All is number." According to the texts, Pythagoras was a scientific genius of the first order. He genuinely believed that absolutely all natural phenomena could ultimately be expressed in mathematical formulas. He taught the unity of all things, basically suggesting that if everything in the universe is connected, then the universal language binding the whole shebang together is mathematics. What's really fascinating is how the authors of our source text juxtapose this ancient philosophy with modern physics to build their case. Take this quote from Lord Kelvin, one of the greatest modern physicists. He noted that until you can express something in numbers, your knowledge is of a meager and unsatisfying kind. The text uses this to build a solid bridge between science and spirit. They're arguing that the ancients and modern scientists are actually pointing to the exact same truth. Numbers are the ultimate measure of reality. Section 1. The 6 Essential Texts. This anthology features a staggering variety of perspectives from 6 key authors, each applying those foundational ideas of Pythagoras in their own unique ways. You have Ariel Yvon Taylor, whose work demystifies numerology to make it practical for everyday people. Then there's John C. Laurie, who connects numbers directly to the law of vibration and modern atomic theory. Kozminsky dives deep into the magic and symbolic language of numbers, while Clifford W. Cheasley focuses purely on pragmatic personal growth. Toss in Sepharial's astrological connections and Manly P. Hall's deep esoteric history, and you get this incredibly comprehensive, multi-angled view of how numerology was understood about a century ago. Section 2. Pythagoras and Universal Law.
Now, all of these authors trace their lineage back to one foundational figure. According to the anthology, Pythagoras applied numerical theory to literally everything. We're talking music, medicine, even daily conduct. He taught that blending opposites produces harmony, kind of like the high and low notes of an octave. In fact, he scientifically proved that the notes of a lyre are mathematically proportionate to the length of its strings, essentially founding the scientific theory of sound. The text even notes he anticipated Copernicus by placing the sun at the cosmic center, and he created the 47th proposition of Euclid's Elements. The guy wasn't just a philosopher, he was applying universal law through hard mathematics.
Section 3. The Science of Vibration.
This geometric, mathematical view of the universe leads us straight to the concept that ties it all together for the modern era. This is where ancient philosophy meets the modern atomic theory that was just emerging when these texts were written. Our source defines vibration as a movement to and fro, or an oscillation. But the authors take it a massive step further. They argue that the entire world is built of atoms vibrating at different rates of speed. Because everything, including you and me, is made of this exact same universal world stuff, everything is subject to measurement. This means your life, your thoughts, your environment, they're all just different frequencies of energy, constantly interacting.
Section 4, the power of your name. Okay, let's zoom in from those massive macrocosmic laws of vibration down to the micro level and apply this to something super personal, your own name. One of the most fascinating claims in the book is that spoken names create literal sound vibrations in the air, while written names transfer color vibrations through the eye to the brain. In both cases, your name is registering an immediate mental picture of your characteristics onto the receiver. Basically, your name leaves an indelible impression on your associates. It's the hidden reason why some people might instantly like you and why others might unconsciously avoid you. It all comes down to vibratory harmony. Let's look at a highly specific, practical example from Ariel Yvon Taylor's text, William versus Bill. If you go by William, the numerological vibration suggests you're principled, independent. You rely on your own opinions and you finish what you start. But what happens if you shorten it to Bill? Well, the vibration completely changes. Bill broadcasts frankness, physical magnetism, and the energy of a driver who fights for his rights. The text even jokes that if Bill is doing big things in the commercial world, he'll probably have a lot more money than William. Just changing the nickname totally alters the vibrational portrait of the person.
Let's keep this comparison going and bring Will into the mix. If the fighting, driving qualities of Bill, the big boss with a keen sense of values, aren't quite you, what about Will? The text argues that going by Will shifts the vibration entirely toward a more refined, cultured, and artistic energy. Will is more patient and diplomatic. He defers to public opinion, though he might be hiding a bit of a stubborn streak beneath that polite exterior. It's absolutely fascinating to think about how the people in our lives might shift their behavior toward us simply based on the name they allow us to call them.
Section 5. Practical, everyday applications.
One of the main goals of the authors in this anthology was to show that this esoteric knowledge shouldn't just be locked away in dusty libraries. It can, and definitely should, be used practically by anyone, every single day. The sheer breadth of everyday utility they claim numerology provides is pretty staggering. They argue mothers can use it to peek behind the scenes into a stubborn child's mind, like figuring out exactly how to handle a stubborn little William. Teachers can use it for scientific human nature study to better understand their pupils. For salesmen, it's pitched as a way to get forehand knowledge of a customer to apply the right stimuli. Even businessmen can supposedly use numbers to find the most advantageous days for promoting their products. The text really presents this whole thing as a master key to human relations and personal success.
And that brings us to the end of our explainer, leaving us with one final, incredibly provocative question. What is your name broadcasting to the universe right now? Are you vibrating as a William, a Bill, or a Will? What hidden frequencies might your signature be sending out into the world before you even shake someone's hand? Whether you view this as ancient mysticism or just a really intriguing psychological lens, the concepts from the Book of Numerology definitely make you think twice about the everyday numbers and names we just completely take for granted. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive into the numbers.